Hi, welcome to B-Town Talk, production of Bensalem Community Television. I'm your host, Dawn Davis. Today, we're going to be talking about the large, humongous water tower you see at one of the highest points here in Bensalem. For some of our old timers, and I include myself in that, the old Robert Hall building up on Route 1 now is a $2 million water tower. We just turned the valve, as you'll see in some of the footage, and we just wanted to boil it down a little bit to our end users and what does this structure really mean to the residents of Bensalem and beyond, because actually this water tower is constructed not only for Bensalem residents, but it's going to carry all the way to Montgomery County. So imagine the pressurization that occurs just simply by gravity. We're actually inside the water tower, and if you were standing here, you almost feel like you're in a monastery because of the vibration of the voices. It's actually amazing acoustically. But it is a civil engineering feat. Water towers across America and across the world, water towers are something that go back to ancient times, even with the Romans and the aqueducts. And certainly it is a way to distribute water, potable water, to the masses. And we're really proud to have partnered, well, Aqua actually partnered with us in getting this project done. Nick DeBenedictis, who was the Pennsylvania chairman for Aqua Pennsylvania, has been paramount, along with the engineers and our council, in getting this project completed. And it's going to increase water pressure. It's actually also going to assist our fire companies in fighting fires. So it's really just a monumental achievement with Aqua Pennsylvania. In tandem with Bensalem Township, just another infrastructure improvement. You know, a lot of times it is an inconvenience when things are being built, road closures and there's stoppages, and, you know, just look at what's going on with the Turnpike Bridge and things of that nature. But like we always say, it's a temporary inconvenience for a permanent improvement. And I have to say, as a Bensalem resident myself, at the end of the day, the one utility that I never really complain about is my water bill. I mean, let's face it, it's convenient. You go to the tap, you go to take a bath, it's there. Imagine the poor women that came before us in generations where they had to go out to the well and rope it on up and bring it into the house, and, you know, doing their laundry and beating it against a washboard, and just all the, I mean, we would go insane. Of course, they didn't know any better, but what we know now, we think we really have it made of what we do. So that's one utility. Now, of course, electricity and all, that's a whole different story. But water, I feel, in my humble opinion, is still one of the most affordable utilities and one of the most convenient. And Aqua America is continuing, or I should say Aqua Pennsylvania, I correct myself, is continuing its promise to improve the infrastructure here in Bensalem. When we sold the Water and Sewer Authority in 1999, of course, Aqua got the water, Bucks County Water and Sewer retained the sewer system.
On behalf of Aqua Pennsylvania, I'd like to welcome everyone here today for a very happy occasion, the dedication of a major infrastructure improvement for Bensalem. And I'd like to thank the mayor of Bensalem, Joe DiGirolamo, who we've had the pleasure to work with for over a decade, rebuilding major parts of the water system and in Bensalem Township, to be here today to acknowledge this effort. Also, the councilmen have had a key part of this, both with zoning, expenditures, and allowing us to do this, and I'd like to acknowledge them. First would be President Joe Knowles of Council, Vice President Ed Kieselbach, new Councilman John Matthew, Councilman Tony Belfield, Councilman Joe Polari could not be here today, he's on a business trip, and Mr. Ed Rudolph, who is the solicitor. So these are the people who made this whole project possible. It started back over 10 years ago, April of '98, 14 years ago, when we were honored to be allowed to buy the system from Bensalem Township And since that time, we've put in, the cost was in the $35 million range, and we've probably put that plus in the system over that time period, making major improvements. This last year being a lot of transmission line improvements and line improvements, but the key was this tank, which we'd like to talk about today. Helping design the plant, let me acknowledge a couple of the people. The people who allowed us and gave us all the permits and made sure we did everything according to the township rules. Director of Building and Planning is Matt Takita, he's here, and also the Director of Administration and Right to Know Officer. So that means he knows everything, I guess, right? Bill Samori. Bill's here, I know, I saw him earlier. There's Bill. Pannoni Associates, great engineering firm in this area, helped design the project, and with us today is Chris Walker. Chris, thank you for coming. And MBA Associates, Andy Mumford. I don't know if Andy's here. Okay. The contractor was Moore Excavating and Martin Excavating, excuse me, Jeff Moore. I don't know if Jeff is here. This was a major project, and Caldwell Tank is the designer and the builder of the tank. And last but certainly not least, I'd like to acknowledge the engineering team at the company Aqua that put this together. First of all, Bill Ross, our senior engineer, Joe Thurwanger, our manager of capital planning, Brennan Kelly, who was the project engineer on this project, standing next to the mayor, and Rick Giangulio, who couldn't make it today. Oh, there's Rick. Rick is here, and he was the project manager. Also, one other introduction, and that's the state representative who represents Bensalem Township and a senior member of the Pennsylvania House of Representatives, Gene DiGirolamo. Gene, thank you very much for coming today. This is the largest elevated tank throughout. We operate in 10 states. It's only fitting that Bensalem has the biggest of the tanks because it's our largest municipality that we serve in all of our 10 states. Construction began in October 2011, and it was completed this month, which is a fast time for 1 year, start to finish, for something of this size. And the total cost was $4.6 million. We're standing inside a concrete column. This is a unique tank. It's built on a concrete column, and that's why all the room inside of the tank. And one of the pipes you see against the wall is used to fill the tank. And let's point to that. That's the tank. This is the fill. And obviously the pumps here is what pumps the water up from the water supply. It's 2 million gallons of water is stored above us. So we're standing below 2 million gallons of water. The bowl that holds the tank, which is way up there, which was lifted by crane on top of this concrete base, weighs 300 tons, empty. And we're standing underneath it. There are pictures on the easels to show how we lifted the tank during the process, the steel part up that sits now on this tank. Now, the reason it's flat up top is because this pipe comes down into the system and it flows completely by gravity. So although it takes power to pump it up to the top, it comes down with gravity. And the reason for the height is because, and this is one of the highest spots in the whole southeast area, elevation-wise, is because this tank can feed other areas than just this immediate neighborhood. And the pressure is controlled by how high the tank is, and that's what's needed for fire protection and so on. Why did we do it? Because the reliability for this area was being strained for a couple reasons. One, Bucks County Water and Sewer is moving off the Philadelphia source of water and onto its own source up in North Wales. And the second is, so that backup wasn't there, but more importantly, this area has grown so much in the last 10 to 15 years that it needed more reliability for fire protection, water pressure, and so on. Therefore, not only will Bucks County have more reliability, but also eastern Montgomery County, which is very important. This is one of several major projects totaling $68 million we've spent in Bucks County on water treatment and supply over the last 2 years. So we've invested on an average run rate of over $30 million a year. And we're just completing our $20 million upgrade of the Neshaminy Water Treatment Plant, which is probably 2 miles from here. It's right off Old Lincoln Highway. And it will be now a state-of-the-art plant with the most up-to-date ultraviolet treatment, and will be a showpiece for the nation. And that, again, is in, I think that may be in Middletown Township, but your neighbor.
That's okay.
It's all right. And our next big project is the $13 million project where we're putting in a 36-inch line out of the Neshaminy plant up to Montgomery County to replace a 100-year-old line that if it were to break, it would look like some of the problems that are happening in Philadelphia now with major transmission lines breaking, because that's a major line under high pressure. We would see the water spout as high as this tower. I've given you a lot of data. We're very proud, as you can tell, of this project. It took a lot of people to make it possible. It took a lot of money to make it possible, but it also took a lot of political will to understand what's needed 20, 30 years from now, not just tomorrow. And that's the type of leader you have with Mayor Joe DiGirolamo. I'd like to turn this over to him now.
Well, thanks, Nick. Nick, thank you, and certainly Aqua, and certainly with council. Always we're working together to make things better, and certainly we have a gentleman here shares the same last name as me that works very hard here in Bensalem also. And everybody that worked on it, standing over there behind the camera, certainly Bill Samori and Jack McGinley, part of our staff, and behind him is Joe Pizzo, standing over as a solicitor also in Bensalem. You know, one of the most important things to me on this tower is the safety of the community, to have the pressure for our fire companies to be able to support any kind of fire that comes along. And right behind here, everybody, I think they know, we're right on Route 1, is the training center, our new fire, police, and our ambulatory training center. So all this fits in with that we'll be able to give the safety and welfare of our community. And that's been a big part of this. Plus, to be able to note we have quality water coming into Bensalem, not just today, but like you said, in the future. So a partnership works. We thank you for Aqua. And I thank you for your staff working with Bill and everybody else, and certainly with Pannoni, the engineers. Thank you, Aqua, for thinking ahead and making our community a safer place.
Proud to do it. Why don't we go over, we'll do the ceremonial turn. There you go.
With that, I'm Dawn Davis for B-Town Talk, and we'll see you next time. Take care, everybody.